Thank you. And we have a very special treat for you today. Our own Jim Wilson will come and deliver our lesson. Let's give him a hand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For those who have been attending Unity on a regular basis, you will know that Reverend Evan Coleman has an occasional series of talks going through the Old Testament stories. He is now in the book of Samuel, but he hasn't gotten to the part about appointing a king yet. When Evan left off, we're still in the time of Judges, and Samuel was the last of the judges. As the book of Judges says, in those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did that which was right in his own eyes. What happened when people did what was right in their own eyes? Well, the book of Judges ended with a brief but bloody civil war in which the tribe of Benjamin was nearly wiped out. And then, early in the book of Samuel, the Philistines raided the Ark of the Covenant, which Evan spoke about 2 weeks ago, and you can watch on YouTube. But what does doing right in his own eyes mean? I have an idea. It is doing what seems convenient or expedient instead of living by the truth. It can start small, but then it gets out of hand. Here's an example. I recently learned about the Asch conformity experiment. That's Asch spelled A-S-C-H, conformity experiment. The subject in the experiment was a person within a group of people who he thought were also part of this same study, but he was the only subject. All the others were actors. They were shown a vertical line. Yeah. Yeah. And next, they were shown a vertical line, and next to it were 3 other vertical lines, one of which was the same length as the first. Each person in the group was asked to say out loud which of those 3 lines was the same length as the first. It was pretty obvious. You would have to be visually impaired not to see that line C matches line X. In the experiment, they were shown 18 different sets of lines similar to this. However, all the actors gave the same incorrect answer, and the subject was always the last one to answer. According to Wikipedia, 12% of the subjects gave the wrong answer, that is, agreed with the majority, all of the time. 62% sometimes gave the correct answer, but sometimes or mostly followed the majority. 26% defied the majority and spoke the truth, that is, gave the correct answer all the time. The subjects would be interviewed afterward when they were told what the experiment was about, and they gave different reasons why they gave wrong answers. In general, however, despite the evidence of their own eyes, some genuinely believed the majority must be correct, whereas others wanted to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. However, there were occasional variations in how the experiment was administered. Sometimes one or a few of the actors would give the correct answer. It turns out that if just one of the actors gave the correct answer, the subject would also give the correct answer. There may have been comfort in feeling secure that even if he's in the minority, he's not alone. But what struck me is that everyone knew the truth. Their eyesight was correct, but that's not what we mean by doing right in our own eyes, because they literally did wrong in front of their own eyes. Doing right in our own eyes is about thinking that something can be gained by ignoring the truth. The fact is, the information had come in, you knew which 2 lines had the same length, they were right in front of you, and it was obvious. But then you took in more information that didn't matter at all, what other people were saying. You thought that agreeing with the crowd was the safest thing to do. You are afraid of being judged, which is the same as saying you are afraid people won't love you, that you wouldn't be accepted by the group. That is an example of doing it right in your own eyes. And what you end up doing when you do right in your own eyes like this is that you lie to yourself and to others. When you lie, you betray your own conscience, even in something as inconsequential as the line matching test. But remember, there is a part of you that did know the correct answer. Do you know what I call that part of you? I call it God. God is the truth. God is your conscience, because your conscience is the truth expressing itself or waiting to express itself through you. Because God, the truth, is the only reality, and you are part of that reality and a participant in that reality. That reality, that truth, doesn't rest on anyone's opinion. The ash experiment is like the tree in the Garden of Eden, tempting to look for truth outside of yourself instead of within, to think that the truth that is in me doesn't matter, but what other people say does matter. However, you already possess divine intelligence. Life isn't one Penn and Teller magic trick after another trying to fool us, always leaving us guessing. In day-to-day, moment-by-moment living, our biological eyes don't deceive us. We can trust our senses. We can match line C with line X. But we can't trust the ego, which looks for acceptance and safety in all the wrong places. God is that part of you that isn't paying attention to what others are saying. God is the Christ in you, and like Jesus, you can live the truth that sets you free. When you say line C matches line X, you're saying what Jesus would say. To be God is to act like a natural being, like a natural human being, except that you're free from the delusions of the ego. When the book of Judges says that people did right what was right in their own eyes, it means people were lost, floundering, and in chaos because they listened to ego thoughts instead of letting Christ the King, the truth, rule over their consciousness. A couple of weeks ago, the metaphysics class completed our study on the book Teach Us to Pray by Unity founder Charles Fillmore and Cora Fillmore. They write, God is the supreme perfection. The Word is like unto that perfection. All its creations are perfect. It takes cognizance of the perfect only. When we realize this perfection and speak the words of truth from that plane of understanding, the Word goes forth and establishes that which is. It does not heal anything. In its perfection, there is nothing to heal. Its office is to behold it the perfection of its being, and as we do the works of the Father, we behold and restore that which is and always was perfect. So the way I see it, 2 + 2 = 4. God, or the truth, did not create the error that 2 + 2 = 5. God did not foreordain that some people would behave as if 2 + 2 = 3 to their own ruin. God did not make us ignorant and make us think that 2 + 2 is some great mystery. Divine order is living with the conviction that 2 + 2 = 4. That is the truth within you. You can ignore it, but like the father of the prodigal son, it is always waiting for your return. The truth shouldn't be difficult to grasp, but our ego sometimes makes us doubt the obvious. These other people are saying something else. What if I'm wrong? What if they laugh at me? But Lesson 189 of A Course in Miracles says, simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is, all concepts you have learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. When we do that, free of all concerns, then we can say with confidence that line C matches line X. We can live normal lives in the physical universe without worrying about what other people are doing or saying. We don't need to create confusion when, like 2 + 2 = 4, the answer is obvious, and it is real. It is the truth that is with God and is God. As the opening statement of A Course in Miracles, it says, "Nothing is threatened, nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God." The real is the permanent. It never goes away. 2 + 2 never goes away. 2 + 2 = 4, it never goes away. Our current metaphysics topic is There Is Nothing But God by Vivian May Williams, and you are welcome to join us in the library Sundays at noon or on Zoom. In it, the author Vivian May Williams writes, "There are certain words, God, substance, life, truth, love, being, principle, reality, that have the same basic meaning, permanence. If we were to think of God as permanence, it certainly would give us something more tangible, real, and practical than the hitherto vague conceptions to which mankind has clung. The real is the permanent. The real is God. The real you is God. The real you is permanent, and you're always going to be. The opinions of others will change, so why not be content with the permanent truth that is within you? If you do that, then by definition, you cannot go wrong. But we can be easily led astray by even the simplest of questions, like in the ash experiment. How much more difficult would it be if the answers were knowledge questions? What if 11 people in the group say Thomas Jefferson was the second president of the United States when you are sure it's John Adams? You may indeed begin to wonder if what you thought you knew is correct, if everyone else agrees on another answer. That is when your conscience tells you not to say Thomas Jefferson. It is telling you to ask, isn't it John Adams? And then how even more difficult would it be when significant consequential decisions must be made? We may know the truth. We may know 2 + 2 = 4. We may know line C matches line X. It's right there, but often we don't always know the facts. Let's say you're in a staff meeting at work. The boss lays out a plan and everyone voices their support. But you have doubts. You're unsure, but it looks to you that the numbers don't add up, that they don't reflect the 2 + 2 = 4 universe. Would you speak up and ask questions, or would you do what is right in your own eyes, voice your support, and be thanked by the boss for being a team player? I mean, who knows? The plan could work out anyway. But if you're on a jury and 11 people vote guilty, and you think the accused may be guilty, but you don't think the prosecution has proven the case to your satisfaction, would you make the other jurors angry with you by demanding a discussion when they just want to issue the verdict and go home? Or would you do what is right? Would you do what is right in your own eyes, make them happy by voting guilty with them, and then you can all go home? Which would you do? I would advise the movie 12 Angry Men to learn what you should do. But if you're a member of Congress and you disagree with the measure that your party's leaders insist on passing and that most voters in your district support, but if you're constantly pressured and told you shouldn't say anything and you shouldn't side with the other party, but if you're told you'll cost us the next election and then things will get worse, Yet you have reason to believe the measure will damage countless people. Would you stand for what you believe is right, what your conscience is telling you? Or would you do what is right in your own eyes, telling yourself, I should compromise on this, I need the party's support for my re-election, and I need to be re-elected because my opponent is worse? Now, what if both parties are in agreement and your support? Now, what if both parties are in agreement and support something you find to be immoral? What if you know that if you express opposition, you'll be called anti-American or worse? Doing right in your own eyes would be to say nothing, persuading yourself that you're doing more good than harm if you focus on other issues. Meanwhile, the nation, like in the book of Judges, they become lost, floundering, and in chaos. But if you follow your conscience, if you side with the truth and speak out, others will speak out because they know they aren't alone. Whenever you have doubts or you have questions, when something looks wrong but you don't have all the facts, that is your conscience telling you to speak up, to ask questions, to ask why they think something is right when it seems wrong to you. To live in truth doesn't mean you know everything about everything, but it is to live by your conscience. Whoever you are, you have the power to act like the God you are. Discern the truth, live the truth, speak the truth. Because nothing else is real, everything else fades away. When you're with the truth, when you're with God, nothing can go wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right, wow. This is our opportunity, yours and mine, to pour out the gift of God from within us through our tithes and our love offerings. And can we share this offertory blessing together? Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you, God. And you can send your gifts, your tithes, your love offerings to paypal.me/UnityLincoln. That's paypal.me/UnityLincoln. Or you can also send through the mail, through a bank transfer by sending it to Unity Lincoln, P.O. Box 30209, Lincoln, Nebraska 68503. Or you can go to our webpage, or you can scan this QR code on your phone right here, and that will take you to PayPal. And you can also help support us by liking us on Facebook and subscribing on YouTube. And give and God gives it back to you. Give and God gives it back to you. Give and God gives it back to you. Press down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure. This affirmation for our church family. Together, Unity Lincoln is blessed to draw the people, funds, and all that is required for the health and growth of our community and peace in the world, heart to heart. And our back to school supplies drive for Park Middle School is still